I'd like to ask Andrea Johnson from Girl You Can to come up and give her testimony.
After that last testimony, I tell you, sister, powerful, 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 powerful. My name is Andrea Johnson, and I am actually the founder and CEO of an organization, small organization out of Philadelphia called Girl You Can Do It Inc., aka Goody. Not Gucci, Goody. Everybody like Gucci? I'm like, no, I don't have that type of money. We are a very small organization that, thank you, is starting to really get within our communities here in America as well as abroad. Many have heard of us, many have not. We advocate for women and girls. Being a woman that have suffered with abuse, domestic violence, incest, and the list goes on and on and on. I and others within my organization are women that have gone through. That way we can better help to educate others in regards to what is happening within our communities, as well as we can relate to their pain in order to help them heal. Sort of more like peer-to-peer education and peer-to-peer help. From girls and women all women I consider my sisters, no matter if you're white, black, pink, yellow, orange, green, whatever color you are a sister. Ranging in sisters from Pakistan, Nigeria, Brazil, United States, and all over the world. Violence on girls and women, poverty and homelessness are human rights issues that infects and deplorize a woman's right to life, liberty, and their pursuit of happiness. With reported stats, notice I am always talking about reported stats, but there are so many stats that are not reported that if they were reported, we would see the high epidemics we have in regards to violence and the violence on women and girls within the United States as well as throughout the world. The stats within my beautiful country, the United States, states that 1 in 4 women experience domestic violence in their lifetime. Unreported stats are much higher, as in my family and many families as I was growing up, that stat would be 4 in 4. It is also estimated that 500 women and girls are being raped per day, which means approximately 21 women and girls were reportedly raped from this time yesterday till the time I'm presenting to you today. Unreported stats are much higher, which we found and from me working within our communities here in Philadelphia and also throughout the United States, and also now in Nigeria, Africa, those stats are totally much higher than reported. The National Law Center on Homelessness and Poverty in the U.S. estimates that there are approximately 1,750,000 people in the U.S. that are homeless. And 46% of those cities surveyed identified domestic violence as the primary cause of homelessness in women. For girls and women outside the United States, these stats are even more horrific. In 2011, just in my city of Philadelphia alone, our police department received approximately 145,904 911 calls that were determined by the dispatcher to be domestic violence related calls. Our emergency rooms, where I worked out of and presently work out of, that same year reported over 2,000 of the emergency room visits were from women that were assaulted by a spouse, an ex-spouse, boyfriend, or ex-boyfriend. As we now know, as we really now undoubtedly know, violence, poverty, discrimination, and inequities against women and girls continue to be a problematic and continuously growing epidemic worldwide as they touch the physical, the mental, the emotional, the social, economical, cultural, and legal aspects of a woman's life. Apart from legislation and women's consciousness being raised, which women are becoming more and more aware of dangers in regards to domestic violence and other issues that affect them, Communities, police, hospitals, the media, the music industry, especially within the United States, and other institutions need to be sensitized to the domestic partner and teen battering, sexual assaults and harassments, female circumcision, and mental health issues that imposes considerable stress, which reduces life expectancies and produces a variety of negative physical and mental health outcomes. Many women and girls are forced, not given the opportunity, but are forced to endure around the world. As I said in the beginning, being a woman that was brutally beat by her spouse, being a woman that grew up in households where abuse was so prevalent and well known in neighborhoods and just it was like a normal. It was kind of hard to see and distinguish yourself in knowing what was good and what was bad, which a lot of our youth, sad to say, still to this day, cannot distinguish which is good and which is bad. My Latina brothers and sisters, my African American brothers and sisters, my Asian brothers and sisters, we have issues that everyone thinks is different, not realizing we all suffer from the same thing. My abuser not only abused me, but he gave me his gift of HIV, which I will never be able to repay him for, nor would I want to repay him or anyone else for. We as women are losing our rights, again, to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I now carry something within me that I will never be able to get rid of in my lifetime, which I advocate for others not to become infected with or to suffer with the horrific things that I and many other women and girls today, still till today, suffer with. We have to come together as a community. We have to stay strong. We have to educate. We have to know that it does not take a lot of money to use what I am using now, which is my voice. I have found that my voice is very powerful. My voice makes changes. My voice can help. My voice heals. It is how I choose to use it. I have learned to use my voice, whereas others have not. My organization and women like me and all the persons in this room, we give a voice to the voiceless, to the voiceless. We offer help where no one else will. We give our empathy, not our sympathy, in regards to how can we help to help in making things better, not only for us, but also for you. I consider myself an advocate. I've never considered myself a hero. I consider myself someone that just wants to help. That's all I've ever done in my life, was just want to help. I did nothing wrong like many women today that suffer with violence, that suffer with diseases, that suffer with drug addiction, or that suffer with low self-esteem. We all think that we did something wrong. We did nothing wrong. What happened, as this beautiful woman before me said, our government let us down in a lot of ways. Education that should have been implemented in our communities long ago was not there. Teaching us about how to succeed and instead of teaching us how to fail was not a priority. Now we as people have to take it into our own hands, and we have to educate each other. It may, the fight is this large, and it may seem like we have about this many within that fight. But it only takes one to teach one, to reach one, to continue to teaching on. I love to play it forward. What I do, all I ask persons is, whatever I do for you, please do for someone else. I never ask for anything in return. Like these ladies all said, my salary consists of barely nothing. I am a whisper away from the street. I work from 4 o'clock in the morning to sometimes 8 o'clock at night just to feed my family. on pennies. I can go to the corporate world and work in the corporate world, which I did for 25 years. But then with my condition, I got severely sick and had to retire out of that world. Now, what I do, the work that I do now, which is helping others, has been more rewarding to me, even with my struggles. Even with my electric bill being $1,999.89 and getting threatened to be turned off. Even with my medications costing $1,200 just for a 30-day supply. Even with me barely eating, even though I look overweight, but it was the medication that blew me up. Even with my refrigerator being barely empty to feed my own family. The values that I even instill in my children is to fight. Just because you see everyone with these extravagant things and thinking they're happy, they're not. They are struggling just like you. They are people just like you. Matter of fact, those that have more money usually have more problems. You heard the saying, more money is more problems. Just because they look doesn't mean that they are. They suffer from the same thing as you do. I'm not a keynote speaker, so I apologize if I'm rambling on and on and on. But I am a woman that has a passion. I am an ordinary person seeking to do the extraordinary thing, and that is called saving a life. Thank you.
I'd like to ask Andrea Johnson from Girl You Can to come up and give her testimony.
Am I like Gucci? And like, no, I don't have that type of money. We are a very small organization that, thank you, is starting to really get within our communities here in America as well as abroad. My name is Andrea Johnson, and I am actually the founder and CEO of an organization, small organization out of Philadelphia called Girl You Can Do It Inc., AKA Goody. Not Gucci, Goody. Many have heard of us, many have not. We advocate for women and girls. Being a woman that have suffered with abuse, domestic violence, that last testimony, I tell you, sister, powerful, 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 powerful.